The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sudden Impact Radio. It is Thursday night, exactly 10 o'clock Central Time. We are watching the final segment of Thursday night's Impact from Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. I'm the man they call me Head. Thank you for joining us tonight again, Sudden Impact Radio, right here on Blog Talk Radio. If you want to call into the program, the number to call, area code 347-996-5278, 347-996-5278. Call us now! Sorry, that was a bad Mean Gene impression. Chattosphere is wide open and moving as well. We got a bunch of people in there kind of chatting back and forth. Also, you can hit us up on the Twitter page. Make sure you're using hashtag Sudden Impact. Facebook as well, / Pro Wrestling Report. If you haven't heard me say it before, my name is the man they call Meathead, and you can find me on Twitter as well at WCW Meathead or on Facebook at the man they call Meathead page as well. So, tonight is the follow-up show to what I thought was one of the best TNA Impacts in probably the last couple of years, since they decided they were going to go live on Monday. So it was one of the best shows. I was entertained. I was interested. I was invested, involved. How did they follow it up tonight? Now, I did ask out on our Facebook page where we set up for a big letdown. The problem being that they're in the Impact Zone and this is a taped show. This isn't live. This was taped last week. Anyone that's on the internet, unfortunately, has read those spoilers. I wish I could say I hadn't read the spoilers. I had to, but the spoilers are what they are. So going into the show, was it a big letdown? I've been asking. Also, if you call into the show tonight, I'm going to ask you, was Impact tonight a pass or fail? Based on just, how the show went tonight. Did it flow well? Were the segments entertaining? Was the wrestling good? Was it a pass or fail? So as we're watching Flair and Bischoff putting the boots and the shoes to Garrett Bischoff, Eric's real-life son, in the ring, this is what's closing the show, folks. They didn't close it with a wrestling match with their guys that they're trying to push. They're faces of the company. They're, number one heels of the company. They're not putting that at the main event. They're putting a kid, Garrett Bischoff, who was a wrestler, in training, if you will. He came into TNA and ended up as a referee. Jackson James, I believe his name was, for the longest time. This kid has been on TV 3 separate times today. He had 3 different segments today in the show. They're not showing you more Bobby Roode. They're not showing you more James Storm. They're showing you Garrett Bischoff. He was in one of the beginning segments. I talked to Flair a little bit on TV. And he's also in the main event, the close of the show, getting beat down by Bischoff and Flair. Not sure where the company's taking this, but honestly, I think it's a very big missed opportunity for TNA. They could have pushed James Storm more. They could have pushed Bobby Roode more. They could have put their company guys that they're trying to put out there to make money, to represent the company, to put a good face on the company. They could have had them in there, but in their main their main segment, the number one closing of the night segment at the top of the show when they're going off the air, was Eric Bischoff, Ric Flair, who is balding more and more by the day, and Garrett Bischoff. I don't know. So want to hear what you guys think. Make sure, again, to hit us up on Twitter. If you're doing the Twitter, use hashtag Sudden Impact. Also hit us up on the Facebook page. I asked the question, were we set up for a big letdown tonight with what I thought was a great show? Not everybody enjoyed the show last week, but I thought it was a great show. So, it is what it is. Hey, if you're in the Milwaukee area and you want to hang out with the Pro Wrestling Report, coming up this Monday, live broadcast from Karma. It's going to be downtown, 600 East Ogden, from 7:30 to 12 a.m. Free admission. Come on down and check us out. There's also going to be a costume party. You do not have to dress up as a wrestling character. It's just a Karma, nice costume party. Come as whoever you want. Come as wrestler. Come as, somebody else. Be naughty nurse or naughty witch or whatever, you want to dress up as. If you're in the Milwaukee area, hit us up downtown. But the best part about it, not only are we going to be doing the costume contest, this Monday night, live ESPN broadcast of the Pro Wrestling Report with David Hero and Damian Nelson. Also, Linda Kay will be in the building. There is no guarantee what you will or will not be wearing. But then again, you're just going to have to find out for yourself. That's this Monday at 600 East Ogden. Also, if you want to watch the Survivor Series with former WWE diva Maria, check us out at PWRshow.com. On November 20th, down at the Horny Goat Hideaway, there's going to be free admission there as well. Maria will be in the building watching WWE Survivor Series. More details at www.pwrshow.com. And don't forget primetime this Saturday. You're going to hear more from Damian Nelson and David Hero and a lot, other great segments happening there. So let's talk about the Impact tonight. We're coming off last week, and, the show with the amazing finish with the Cowboy, James Storm, winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. What was going to happen? You have to lead into with James Storm coming back to the show. I mean, he finished the show as champion, just won the belt. You got to start your next show with him walking out as the champion. So he does. He comes out and he talks about, winning the title, and here comes Fortune out to hang out with him. James Storm did, by the way, come out with a new theme song, a new video, a whole new packaging for James Storm. Showed a video promo of early days in TNA with him and, Wildcat Chris Harris or Braden Walker in WWE, if you will, for those 3 weeks that he was in ECW. So James Storm talks about how he did it for his dad. Him and his dad used to watch wrestling, WrestleMania 3. WrestleMania 3 was a pivotal point for a lot of us wrestling fans, especially of our age, that really got us hooked for life, if you will. So he did it for his dad, and again, we're proud of him. But Samoa Joe comes out after Fortune comes out, and Samoa Joe ran everybody down, tried to cut a promo on everybody, and says he wants his title shot. Well, after they kind of were verbally abusive with each other, Stinger comes down, and again, not quite sure. If Sting's not wrestling, why is he still wearing the gloves? I mean, is he the one that's in charge of billing the set? I mean, is he like a key grip? I mean, what does he do in the background now that he's got to keep wearing those damn gloves? I mean, I understand wearing your gimmicks and, selling the merchandise, but it just doesn't make any sense. So, but anyways, Sting comes out and says, I'll tell you what, why don't we have a number one contenders match? It'll be Robert Roode, Samoa Joe in what was supposed to be the main event, if you ask me. It should have been the final thing of the night to determine who goes up against Cowboy James Storm, the TNA Heavyweight Champion, next week at their live TV taping in Macon, Georgia. So we've got our main event match set up, and, I thought it was an okay segment. It went a little long for me, obviously not as long as last week's opening segment, which had 3 commercial breaks in it, but there wasn't as much to set up. So I thought it went a little long. It was entertaining enough, and we move on. RVD in the first match against Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel. Daniels losing by DQ, ended up going after RVD with some tools that apparently are stored underneath the ring. Daniels having an obsession with a flathead screwdriver, not a Phillips, but a flathead screwdriver that he keeps attacking people with. AJ Styles late to do commentary. I thought Bound for Glory would have been the final end to AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. I mean, come on, really? Don't make me do my, Jimmy impression from come on. Really? How long are we going to do AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels? It's not entertaining anymore. If this were WWE SmackDown versus Raw, the video game, you would have got all your stars taken away for the rivalry because we've seen the same thing over and over and over and over. So, but I guess they're still working, that angle. They're still working those two guys together. I mean, they need something to do with each other, I guess. So it is what it is. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. If you want to call into the show, give us a call at area code 347-996-5278. That's 347-996-5278. We are going to be taking calls after the break. So area code 269, hang tight. Will we be back? I'm the man they call me, and you are listening to Sudden Impact Radio on Blog Talk Radio.
Missed an episode on the Pro Wrestling Report? Thanks, pal. Subscribe to the show on iTunes and take the show with you wherever you go, even in the bathroom.
Welcome back to Sudden Impact Radio on Blog Talk Radio. I'm the man they call Meathead. And again, if you want to call into the program tonight, area code 347-996-5278, 347-996-5278. In the last segment, we'll go through the chatosphere, kind of pull some comments out of there. We'll look at the Twitter page and the Facebook page as well. Again, if you're using Twitter, make sure you're using hashtag Sudden Impact. Also, if you're using Facebook, go to the Pro Wrestling Report page on there and mention the TNA Impact. I am going to take a call now from area code 269. Make sure you mention your name and state that you're calling from. Area code 269. Go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is David from Michigan again.
Hey, David. Well, not again, but David, welcome back to the program. David, what do you want to talk about?
I mean, I've been called like every week since the show started.
Sure, I appreciate it.
Yeah, first off, I want to say my thoughts and prayers go out to the Briscoe family. Jerry Briscoe just passed.
Are you sure you just passed? Because I heard from JR specifically that he hadn't passed, that it was a hoax.
Oh, I was reading the tweet that I seen was put out there to Hall. Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Okay, well, he's had some severe health issues.
I hope he's not. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it is, yeah.
And also Barry Windham as well, I believe, has just suffered a heart attack.
Yeah, I heard about that, yeah. But the show overall, it'll probably get a really low rating this week because there's more wrestling.
Okay.
Because last week it was like the most viewed show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I guess what I want to know is, not depending on the ratings, what did you think about the show? I'm not worried about the ratings. We're not,
Yeah, I understand that. I'm saying just because there was more wrestling this week, it's probably going to be lower rated.
Sure, but were you entertained?
Yeah, I did enjoy the show. RVD and Daniels didn't really care about that, but don't really care about, like we talked about before, Bound for Glory. Do we really want to see AJ and Daniels again? And after Bound for Glory, not really. I mean, enough.
I thought Bound for Glory would be the end of that. And here it goes again, and it's still going on. So, and Daniels goes around the country. And one of the things I've been meaning to bring up, I don't like when wrestlers or wrestling companies use Twitter or Facebook to try to work people. It's really weird.
Well,
like
that's WWE right there.
Twitter. What's that?
So that's the WWE all the way.
Yeah, over the last year, they've been working it over and over. It's getting kind of irritating.
I mean, just Monday, it was just ridiculous.
Right, it's a little bit too much. So you say you were entertained. You say pass. All right. Me and my Diet Coke, my Doritos here, had to move the notebook off to the side, but let's get that passed down for you.
Well, also, another thing to touch on,
sure.
Real quick, is the thing I left for the show, because I'm a big fan of hers, is Gail Kim. I mean, a good promo she did before her match, and she really did. I think if they were in a wrestling town, she would have got cheered more than booed, because people know who Gail Kim is. And I like Gail Kim. I thought they could have had a better match with her and Tara, whatever you want to call her.
Sure.
They could have had a better match, but...
Sure. Well, Gail Kim and Tara or Victoria have wrestled many times, and I didn't understand when Gail Kim said bring out new meat. She's not new meat. People know who she is, and you know who she is. You've wrestled her for years, so that part didn't make any sense to me in the promo. Other than that, Gail Kim, her promo wasn't the strongest, but it definitely was a wrestler's promo. It wasn't a model trying to be a wrestler cutting a promo. It was a wrestler cutting a promo. Again, wasn't the strongest.
I mean, I know Velvet Sky. She seems, but I just look at her and I see Kelly Kelly.
That's an insult to Velvet Sky, because Velvet can actually do a little work in the ring.
Yeah, but her move, the way she moves around, the way she doesn't seem as athletic, or maybe like a John Cena type wrestler. Like she's more over with a couple moves here and there. But it's like Gail Kim or even this Tessmacher, who looks good when they're in the ring. It seems like she doesn't have the athletic. I'm not saying she's not an athlete, so she's an entertainer, or whatever you want to call it, wrestler on TNA.
Sure.
But I look at the wrestlers like, I mean, maybe I'm way off base, but she don't look like the best wrestler in TNA as the women are concerned.
Well, then again, it depends, and we could go into a whole other discussion, and I'm not going to go into it here, but we can go into a discussion of what makes a wrestler. Is a wrestler one that looks the most athletic? Is a wrestler the one that does the best moves? Is the best talker? The best, body conditioning? I mean, that's a whole other,
who's gonna, like Hogan thing, who's gonna sell tickets? I mean, Velvet Sky, she uses her sex appeal, and she's over. I mean, that's what's.
Sure.
Is Miz the best wrestler in the world? No, but he's over more than Daniel Bryan. I mean, it's going to go whoever sells more. I mean, us as fans of the internet or whatever you want to call it, the 10%, we're fans of wrestling. Like, I'm so over the storyline. I just want to see in-ring wrestling.
Sure. All right. And one last note, David. I'm going to ask you one last question and let you go. You pick a winner in a match of out-of-control beards, EY versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh, that's easy. Daniel Bryan.
Okay, so Bryan Danielson's beard wins over Eric Young's beard. Okay,
I mean, that's
fair enough.
I mean, I'm just saying, not talking about beards. I'm just saying, Daniel Bryan. What do you think?
I think that Bryan Danielson is probably a more put together, more fundamentally sound wrestler. But I mean, I'm talking about their characters in general. I think it's a great match that goes to a double DQ because their beards get knotted up together. So. That's just me.
I think
David, I appreciate your call.
Shows on TNA.
David, I appreciate your call. I'm going to take another caller here. Call again next week if you like.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you for calling in. We're going to go to it looks like 646 area code. 646, tell us the first name and state you're calling from.
Yeah, hi, my name is Miguel from New York City.
New York City? Sorry. I know that's an old gimmick Amy and I did for many, many years. Pace Picante, we get it. Miguel, what do you want to talk
about? I really think Impact was good today. It was quite enough wrestling for me. I enjoyed it. I'm actually starting to I'm really intrigued into the Gary Bischoff storyline right now. He seems
Garrett
like he's gonna. Yeah, Garrett and Eric. Yeah. I like where that's going a little bit.
Let me ask you, wasn't it a little bit too much? Excuse my cough here. Wasn't it a little bit too much that Garrett Bischoff, was on camera 3 times when guys like Ken Anderson have to
definitely, definitely. I definitely agree with that. It was you could probably just, it's the obvious answer. That's the son of Eric Bischoff, so you could just figure that he's gonna get his TV time in. Just for the fact that he is son of Eric Bischoff,
branded by Eric when he was born. He stamped him with an iron, a hot iron skillet, and put Bischoff right on his chest.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I definitely my favorite match. I liked Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe. I thought that was a nice back and forth match. And I think the wrestling was okay today. I have no problems with it.
I tell you what, Joe and Rude was a good wrestling match. Should it have been the thing that closed the show? Absolutely. This Garrett Bischoff thing could have been underneath that, but.
Yeah. Well, how was that about? But that definitely was a great match, and I'm looking forward to see what the TNA originals are going to be getting put into, for the next couple of weeks now.
Yeah, I'm interested. So live TV tapings the next couple of weeks. I know one of them, and again, I'm going to tell you and I'm going to tell everybody else listening, I try to make this a spoiler-free zone. The TV tapings have actually happened already. Something has happened at the TV tapings, but I'm not going to mention it on this program. We'll talk about that next week after Impact is aired. So, Gail, you say pass tonight?
Yeah, I say pass. I enjoyed it.
Fair enough. All right, Miguel, well, thank you again for calling. We will talk to you again next time you call in.
All right, thank you.
Yep, have a great night. All right, so another pass. We've got Miguel. He called in from New York City, said a pass. Again, enjoyed the wrestling portion of the show last week, obviously real heavy on the promos, but this week heavier on the in-ring action. We're going to take a final break. When we get back, we'll run down some Twitters, we'll run down some Facebook posts, and we'll look into the chat-osphere. You're listening to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio.
Tired of all the lies, rumors, and assumptions in wrestling news? So are we. Join us each week for the Pro Wrestling Report on ESPN Radio for the latest news and views on pro wrestling. Visit us at pwrshow.com to check the latest schedule.
You're listening to Sudden Impact Radio on Blog Talk Radio. My name is the man they call Meathead. Again, thank you for joining us here on the program. If you want to call in and talk to us during our final last few minutes here, the number to call is area code 347-996-5278, 347-996-5278. We're going to run down some of the stuff in the Twitter, the Facebook, and the chat-osphere. We're going to take a couple excerpts from there before we get back into what happened on Impact tonight. I'm going to go to, and I love your Twitter picture, by the way, one of my favorite Dave Chappelle characters. YCCM Crack said, Impact was solid tonight. I just don't understand why TNA OGs, I would assume that's what you're going for, can't close the shows. Got to start somewhere, I guess. Well, you're right. I think it should have been closed with that match, a little Robert Roode versus Samoa Joe action. That would have been something worth watching. I feel it would have been worth watching, especially as the main event. But, you got to close with Little Bishy, as it's being called out in the chatosphere. Also, Saul Perez Jr. says, now Impact is worth watching now. Here comes Showtime EY. Eric Young continues to entertain me. And I misspoke last week when I said there was no comedy segments at all. It was just strictly action, action, action. Well, Eric Young, when he's on TV, is almost always comedy gold, if you will. And Eric, again, came out today. I forgot how thick that beard had gotten. And if he wrestled Daniel Bryan, who says he also will not shave until WrestleMania time when he cashes in his briefcase, I think their beards could get stuck. If they go into a lock up when they first meet in the ring, the beards may get stuck. They can get intertwined. Those kind of hairs can twist and turn. And imagine if Brian Wilson got his beard stuck in there. That would be a hell of a beard mix-up right there. So, also, Real Ruth O says that Impact was amazing. Somebody again, is enjoying the shows. I'm enjoying the shows. Not everybody's enjoying it. The 10%ers, as I guess I'm a part of, you, me, and the Internet Wrestling community, the IWC, the 10%ers, as Bischoff calls them, keep getting swerved by the people in the back, but we're enjoying the shows right now. So does that mean it's Bruce Pritchett who's booking the shows now, who's in control of creative? Is he the one that's, giving us the new product that we're watching and actually kind of getting into? I don't know. It could be just that we got the right guys in the right spots. So again, we're going to run down the rest of Impact here before we get going. Again, opening segment was good. You had Daniels versus RVD. I want to talk a little bit about Gail Kim. She got to get on the microphone when she came into the ring with the rest of the knockouts. And Gail Kim, very passionate promo. Again, it wasn't the strongest of promos, but it was a wrestler's promo. It wasn't some beauty queen trying to talk about how she's going to scream and punch and kick and pull hair. And it was Gail Kim talking like a wrestler. The only thing that confused me, Gail, is when you say bring out some fresh meat. Victoria came to the ring, and again, I love Victoria, not fresh meat. You've known her for a long time. She's been in the company for a long time. Matter of fact, I believe she was there the last time you were in the company. So that's not fresh meat. Kind of think about what's going on. We all make mistakes, so that's the only bone I have to pick with that promo. Otherwise, it was fine. But again, after that, Flair and Garrett, Bischoff, with their segments. I mean, I know that you had Eric Young going up against Robbie E. and, Eric Young and the Jersey Shore guy. What's his name, Ronnie? Because I don't watch that show, and honestly, I don't know how you guys feel, but there's no reason that this guy should be in wrestling. I don't know if they think it's going to be cheap publicity to get a Jersey Shore guy wrestling for them and really getting into a match. I mean, I understand we had Jenny Wow or Jay Wow or whatever her name is come out before. Snooki's been on WWE, to host. She's been at WrestleMania. It's got to stop, really, because the Jersey Shore people aren't talented. They're just camera hogs. That's all they do. They get on the camera and they, primp and pose and fist bump and Jaeger bombs and, my new haircut and all that other good stuff. That's all they do. So Real quickly, we're going to run down the rest here. Hardy and Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy really have something going. I really appreciate what they got going. Again, it's got passion, it's got some heat. Jeff Partridge, as I've been calling him, seems to be clean and ready to work, and when he's clean and ready to work, he's a great worker. He does good things in the ring. He does good things on the microphone. I think it's got a lot of potential to it. So the match between Joe and Rude tonight was a solid wrestling match. Again, we had forgotten about Samoa Joe. You know, he got put to the back burner. People may forget Samoa Joe is a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. But then again, so was Ron the Truth Killings. So, you know, they do give out the belts to, well, I won't say just about anyone. Mick Foley was champion as well. Do you guys remember that? I do too. I thought it was a solid match, and it's going to set up next week's match at the TV tapings in Macon, Georgia with Beer Money Partners, Robert Roode and the Cowboy James Storm, one-on-one for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the World. Again, it was taped last night. If you so choose to, you can go on and look for the spoilers on, you know, what happened and on the show. I'm not that guy. I like to see it live. I will talk to you about it live. Let's run down quick what PWR's got going on this week. Don't forget, this Saturday primetime will be airing on My 24 here in the Milwaukee area right after Ring of Honor Wrestling. And if you want to join the boys live down at Karma, Monday night, 600 East Ogden, 7:30 p.m. to 12 a.m., there's free admission. It's a Halloween contest and a live broadcast of the Pro Wrestling Report, ESPN 540. Also, if you want to check out Survivor Series with former WWE diva Maria, that'll be happening on November 20th at the Horny Goat Highway. Free admission as well. So check that out. Make sure you get to PWRshow.com. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter. I'm on Facebook as well, the man they call Meathead, and you can also follow me on Twitter at WCW Meathead. Again, I appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you for being in the chatosphere. Thank you for listening on iTunes, and thank you for listening on the YouTube, as you will, as the kids call it. Next week, the main event, Robert Roode getting a chance again at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against the current champion, the Cowboy, James Storm. So, for everyone at the Pro Wrestling Report, for Damian, Dave, Linda, Frank, Coke drinking, I am the man they call Meathead. Thank you for listening to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio.